So my mind's still on a lot of elementary school things. I thought I would do a quick video about letter recognition and how to go about teaching your child how to recognize their letters. As far as when, that can really vary for every kiddo. My own child, who's on the gifted side, was interested in letters very early on. We'd been working on sign language starting when he was 6 months old. So he was actually 1 when he started learning his letters. And he had his letter recognition and letter sounds by the time he was 2. So that's super at one end of the spectrum. Other end, could be, 6, 7 years old. So, it really depends on the kiddo. So the first step in learning letters is I always set up whatever room. I didn't with my son when he was that little, but teaching, they talk about a print-rich environment. And what that means is you have a lot of words posted everywhere. So, where there's a lamp, you have a little card and it has the word lamp written on it. Door, on the door. Light, where the light switches, just various places you have all the words kind of sticking up around the room. I wouldn't make it too overwhelming, maybe 2 or 3 words. Clock, this is where we keep paper and kept paper, and this is where I store the crayons. So, I mean, you don't want like 100 words. You don't need to do that, post all over your place, but a few to start. And what I did when I was teaching kindergarten, and this worked for every single kid, is it's a little bit, again, of drilling, but we tried to do it in a way that was fun. So what I did was I started every morning off with a sheet that I'd given each kiddo. And I'll do a screen share here. And I wanted to make sure that the sheet that I had, it would look like this. The one I had was nice. It was kind of bubbly letters and the kids could color them in. So they were able to sort of personalize their sheets. But I made sure that it had capital and lowercase letters on it. So every kiddo would have a printable like this. And I'd tell them to take out their reading fingers. So they'd all kind of whip out their index finger. And I would have them point and touch each letter as we sang the alphabet song. So that was round 1 of singing. So, I'd have them point and touch A, B, C, D, and I would do it on my own sheet. I would help some of the kids are a little off, I'd gently take their hand and help them point. And very quickly, they'd get the hang of it. So we would just sing the letters. So that would be round 1. I would have them circle the vowels, and I said, I'm not going to tell you why at first. It's kind of a secret. But when you're ready, I'll tell you. So I did have them highlight, circle A, E, I, O, U. So after singing and touching the letters, we would go ahead and sing again. The second round, though, I said we're not going to say the names of the letters. We're going to say the sounds that they make. So we would sing it, and I wouldn't go through like the vowel sounds twice, but we would just sing it A, B, K, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. And I wouldn't do, I would start with maybe like the first 4, A, B, K, D, and then we'd be done. And then I'd see how they were doing. If they got those 4, then I would add in like the next 4, and they could learn the next 4. So we would sing it like that. And then I'd also start to actually teach them sign language, signing their letters. And that added another like kind of kinesthetic component to it. So again, I would just teach like the first three. So I teach them, A, B, C, and I'd help them get their fingers in the right position. And when they got that down, again, I would teach them three more, D, E. So we'd really have 3 rounds of singing it. To reinforce this, so we would do this every day. And eventually, we would get there, so that they knew the whole alphabet song. They knew the song with the letter sounds, and they knew how to sign them. I would then go ahead and I would play I Spy with them with just the same sheet of paper and see if they could find the letter. So I would be like, okay, I spy the letter J. You can find it, quick, quick, quick. And they, eventually point to the J. I spy with my little eye letter T. Who can find me the T? And so I would run through the alphabet and let them practice that way. When they were ready for it, I'd also go ahead and add in the letter sound. So I would say, I spy something that says, mm. You find something that says, mm, and sometimes they could, and for kids who are having a hard time, and a lot of times the dyslexic ones, you can even have them look in a mirror for these trickier letters. So like, where are your lips when you're saying versus and have them see like their mouth is kind of open with an N. With letter M, it's closed. And so we would, do activities like that to get them to learn. Another fun thing that we would do is I would have, letters like this that they could take out and play with. And again, I would hide like the letters almost in plain sight around the room, and we'd play hide and seek kind of games with, again, if they were ready for letter sounds, I would say, okay, let's look for the one that says P, and they would go ahead and do that and try to find that letter. So you can definitely play games like that with them. The other thing we did too is we had a poem, and I used the same poem all week long. You can find kindergarten poems. You just Google kindergarten poems, and you can get a billion of these. And so I would do choral reading with the kids. So I would say, okay, so we see leaves. So I want you to take your reading finger and I want you to point as, I say the word, and I had my copy it was a bit larger up on the big pad that I had. But I would say, okay, so make sure we're pointing here on yours, ready? We see leaves. And then I could also go, okay, I want you to take your red crayon and circle any letters that go, and they could go through and they could circle, find all the, S's in here. Or if they're not ready for letter sounds, you could just say, okay, find every S. Let's see if you can find all the S's. And so you just play kind of, games like that. You can say it's like this is like hide and seek. Let's see if you can find them. And they can circle them and search. So that's how I really taught letter recognition and letter sounds. As they got comfortable with all of that, then I would go back and I would talk about the vowels and how the vowels make more than one sound. And I also let them know, sometimes letters, when they go together and are butting up, also can completely change the sound of the words or of the letters. So for A, I would say, not only do the vowels, they say their own name in a word, so they can make an A noise and they can make an A noise. I said sometimes it's even crazy because they can make an ah noise too. So, and then also, saying, and then it gets even crazier, but we'll get into that later as far as like when the vowels are right next to each other and silent E. We get into those things later. So the basics are, have them get their letter recognition first. Again, it's drilling, but my kids never really complained about it. They were having fun singing. You know, if they got bored with it, we could say, okay, well, let's sing in a silly voice. So, you know, kind of like the multiplication tables I was talking about in the other video. You know, so they could sing it really high pitched or really low, like with really, really low, deep voices, or, you know, whatever. But we did sing the alphabet every day, and I had them physically touch the letters as we were doing it. I had them sign the letters, and then I had them learn the letter sounds. So we did all that together, and I had a really, really, really good success with it. I'll get into more about reading and teaching reading later. So I think I'll probably have a part 1, part 2, part 3. And again, if you have any requests for anything I could cover, please let me know. I think my next couple of videos, I'm gonna move into just some high school stuff too. So hope everybody's staying safe and well, and thanks for watching. Hope it helps.